Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome back to the realm of inspiration. Like I said in the last channeling with the Earthian Elfian Elementals of the plants, this next one was going to be about the orchids, and I went and I got myself an orchid to be with me with this channeling, and I kind of wish I did the same with the daffodil, but orchids are a little bit more accessible for me. And I've been spending some time with this orchid, and it felt like it wanted to go in the embracing new adventures mug, and having a connection with amethyst. And amethyst has a connection with so many different plant energy. But for today, we're connecting to inner wisdom. We are connecting to knowledge. We are connecting to the frequency of knowledge and that inner wisdom within us that the orchids represent on a deeper spiritual level. And what the Elfian Elementals that work with the orchids really do is help us connect to our inner wisdom. So this is still a new, growing, blooming orchid, because sometimes it takes a while to fully open to all of our inner wisdom. But as you can see, we already know a lot, because there are already some orchids beautifully bloomed. We already know a lot of our inner wisdom. It's there, it's bubbling at the surface. We just have to remember, and it is a quest of remembering, and that's what life is in general. So today we're going to channel the divine feminine Elfian Elementals of the orchids to communicate for the orchids and see what messages they have for us all. And then we will connect to so many other beautiful energies in this year to help share their eternal divine wisdom that is infinite. And we are finally ready to hear their truth. So, now, as we begin this month of June, I believe, other than the color frequency, this is the first channeling that will be coming out in June. I am recording this a little bit before because the orchid energy is very heavy at the end of May. So, of course, it is influencing as we go into June. So this is going to be more of some clarity bringing for connecting to our inner wisdom. So, take a deep breath. Join me. There feels like so much excitement, and I do feel like I feel a lot of excitement from the orchid. Almost like excitement. Oh yay, we can share the truth that is in our soil. That's what I feel like with the flowers. And I have a list. There are more. That it's the truth that lies in their soil, and it is a message not only from the elementals that work with them, but from Angelic Mother Gaia, who's the guardian of Earth, guardian angel of Earth, and from Heavenly Father God, who is the guardian of life. It is the message of the guardians of the physical reality that lies within the soil of the plants, and they feel very excited to share. They're beautiful. So, and very soft. Very soft, very calm. It kind of feels like there is excitement, but there's a lot of serenity that comes from connecting to your inner wisdom. And I feel that symbolism within the orchids. So, because I slept with this in my room last night. Normally I keep it in the living room, and I had probably one of the best nights of sleep with this orchid, because I was connecting to my inner wisdom. So another fun thing that it helps with. So we are surrounding ourselves with divine light and love. We are safe and protected. All the messages coming through today are for the divine highest good of the collective all. What we need to know, not what we want to hear. Deliver your divine wisdom to us today as I call upon the divine feminine Earthian Elfian Elementals of the orchids to step forth and deliver us messages about connecting to our inner wisdom and how the orchids can help us with this. And even though I kind of did explain it a little bit, why now? Why are the orchids sharing their message now? What purpose does that serve for us in this divine timing? Earthian Elfian Elementals. Earthian Elfian Elementals. Hello. I am a divine feminine Earthian Elfian Elemental of the orchids. I work with the orchids in this region of the world. So what? The communicator asked a lot of things. We'll start with the timing. She's kind of on the point that in May, the orchid energy is very heavy in a good way, but also why at this specific time is because of the transition of the earth that is occurring from May to October, from the start of May to the start of October. And this shift in energy is really showing where the earth will be in the next ascension pathway. And this is the inspired ascension pathway. And that's why us as the Elfian Realm are coming through to communicate on behalf of all of these different energies, whether it be animals or plants, or color frequency. A lot of the cosmic Elfian Elementals, the Earthian Elementals, Elfian Elementals, and the Elfian Animal Healers are really taking the wheel to communicate messages from all the elements, from the things around, to kind of offer, in a way, assistance during the rest of this entire year, not even just like this shift period of time. The shift period of time going on right now is really testing, finding your inner inspiration, and your inner inspiration is connected to your inner wisdom. And when you're able to connect your inner wisdom, you're able to live in hope more. So the beings of hope that we work with, the Fae realm, they work with the orchids as well and using them as symbols of hope, not just inner wisdom. So it's a very beautiful blend of representation that when you connect to your inner wisdom, you're able to feel more inspired, more hopeful, and more motivated. And then you're able to live in truth more, and you're understanding your knowledge, and you're able to be a being of life more when you connect to your inner wisdom. And so it's this bridging energy, because of what it represents, connecting to your inner wisdom. It's this bridging energy of all of these different higher realms that influence the collective all and influence your physical reality. It's this bridging energy, because what it does, what it works with, is related to the source energy of the higher realms mentioned. And once you're able to start to slowly tap into your inner wisdom, you open yourself up more to connect to your guardian angels. What's very interesting is part of the codes of your inner wisdom is your relationship with the divine and your relationship with your guardian angels in the angelic realm. And so again, that's another realm of higher beings. You have the beings of knowledge, the beings of truth, the beings of inspiration, the beings of hope, beings of life yourselves, and the beings of the divine. That's 6 realms of higher beings that all have something beautiful to share with you. And then you have the animal kingdom as well. And the inner wisdom that you can feel with connecting to the orchids, and when you start to connect your inner wisdom more, you start to realize the connectiveness of all things and of the animal kingdom. It's another one. And when you start to feel the connectedness of the animal kingdom, you open yourself up to the aquatic realm. And in the aquatic realm are beings of divine love, of beings of harmony that have been communicated, misinterpreted as, well, they are mermaids, but how you perceive them is different than how they truly are, as all things. So there's another group. And then, when you're connected to your inner wisdom even more, and your third eye keeps expanding, you are able to connect to the unicorn energy. And if you're able to connect to the unicorn energy, you're able to connect to the huntress frequency and the warrior frequency. It's all connected. So all of these higher beings, higher realms, shine their light through your ability to connect to your inner wisdom. So at this time, the orchids are coming through, shining their energy heavily because they work with connecting to your inner wisdom. And at this time, you need your inner wisdom to get through this shift of energy so you can collect all the knowledge from your soul that you have taken on from all higher beings, so you know what to do next. So you know what to do next. Now, this shift of energy going on is something that has been seen before. And it typically happens in every year of the snake, because the snake is shedding old skin, and thus the collective reality must let things go. But what's very significant about this period of time is that it so happens to fall during a lot of changes happening in your physical reality in regards to politics, in regards to the animal kingdom, in regards to the earth. So the inner wisdom that you are starting to connect to is the knowing and understanding of everything around you. And this is a point the orchids like to make. because they do have a connection with the unicorn frequency, is that the more that you connect to your inner wisdom, the more your third eye expands. And the more your third eye expands, it almost creates this divine horn-like shape. Because the unicorn energy is very connected to your third eye. And that opens up your fifth dimensional chakras. So what's happening now for the collective all is a shaking of your chakra energy. It is an opening of your higher chakras, of another dimensional level of chakras. So why the divine message of the divine eternal message of the orchids is coming through now is because as you enter into the shift of time, the shift of energy, this change, this transformation, on a collective level, you're experiencing the opening of more chakras, meaning opening of more abilities, opening of more truth, and the higher chakras that are opening are all connected to your inner wisdom and your ability to connect to your highest self. So how do you connect to your inner wisdom? You must silence your mind to connect to your inner wisdom. That means is quietly go into nature, go into yourself. There is a test of the mental body occurring at all times. It is an infinite test. And this test is whether or not you allow the obsessive nature of the ego to take away the serenity and the clarity of the highest self. Sometimes the ego will obsess over something, even though the highest self already knows the outcome. But the ego thinks if it obsesses, it can control. And then what you wish for will take longer, because what you're really meant to learn is how to listen to your inner wisdom from your soul, not the obsessive nature of the ego. So now is the time where you must pull your ears and expand your energy and let go of the obsessiveness of the ego and bring in the clarity and peace of the highest self, so that you may connect to that inner wisdom within. Now is the time. Now is the time that you open yourself up to serenity. You open yourself up to clarity. You open yourself up to tranquility, to peace that comes from honoring your inner wisdom. And to know the difference between your inner wisdom and the obsessiveness of the ego is to know the difference between love and fear. Is to know the difference between love and hate. Is to know the difference between love and anger. Anger is sadness unexpressed. Hate is love ignored. And fear is the absence of connection to hope and love. So to know the difference between the obsessiveness of the ego and your inner wisdom is to know the difference between the positive and the negative polarity. Is to look at yourself and see, is this thought, is this feeling coming through? Is it draining me or elevating me? When it comes from the ego, it's draining you. It pulls you away. It makes you sloth-like to your purpose, to your life, to being alive. When it's from the highest self, and it is that deep inner wisdom, it is calm. It knows. And the tricky thing is that when you have that knowing from the inner wisdom, the ego sees that. And it wants to disrupt your knowing by making it obsessive instead of peaceful. Because it knows if you allow that knowing to be peaceful, it cannot take your energy. So the test is when you feel that knowing, that claircognizance, that knowing, that connection to your inner wisdom. Every time those obsessiveness and the ego trying to come in the lower self, trying to come in and drain your energy. You take that knowing that you know, that peaceful knowing. Place your hands on your head and you say, I choose peace. I choose the knowing that I know. I choose my inner wisdom. And you will not drain my energy in this way. You may see a path to drain my energy, but you will not. I do not allow it. And what I say goes. And I say no. I say yes to the peace of my inner wisdom. I say yes to the peace of my higher self and the claircognizance knowing. I say yes to the peaceful guidance of the universe. And I say no to your fearful obsession that tries to control and drain the energy of my mind. Because I know that you know that the mind is the starting point of all things. And it is the way that the soul can express itself. It's the way that the body functions. It's the way that the heart can express itself. And it's a way that we are able to communicate. And you know this, and I know that you know this, lower self, but I do not allow you in this sacred space that is mine. So I call now on the guardians of the veil and the guardians of sacred spaces to protect this sacred space that is mine, to protect my mind and my ears, to protect my throat and my heart, to protect my body and my soul, to protect my past, present, and future, to protect my inner child, to protect the wounds that are healing, and to illuminate the healing process, and to ensure that the lower self that goes by the name of ego stays in the backseat, and I will only reference that persona if I ever feel need for it. But at this moment in time, there is no need for it. What the need is for my inner wisdom. So I call upon the frequency of the orchids and the higher beings of knowledge, and the true frequency of divine wisdom, to help me know my inner wisdom, from my soul, from my center, from my true being. Funnel it through my higher chakras all the way down to my earth star, and bring the serenity that comes by honoring my inner wisdom. For I am stronger in my inner wisdom, for I am able to express more truth in my inner wisdom, for I am able to be alive in my inner wisdom, for I am able to be hopeful and loving and faithful and forgiving and knowledgeable and inspired and creative and a high manifestor and intuitive and empathic and compassionate in my inner wisdom. You say that because the more that you affirm the connection to your inner wisdom and to the divine, the more that you are letting the lower polarity know it cannot have you. And eventually, it will give up and wither away. And what will remain is the power of the inner wisdom within your soul to know the path that is for you. Your inner wisdom is your inner intuition. Your inner wisdom is your knowing. Your inner wisdom is your guidance. And it is that connective energy that you can connect to that allows you to open yourself up to your spirit guides, your guardian angels, and higher beings. And connection to your spirit guides, guardian angels, and higher beings opens you up to understanding your inner wisdom, because sometimes your inner wisdom doesn't make sense. So how do you make sense of your inner wisdom? You sit with it, and you process it, and you do not rush. Rushing is of the 3D matrix. Rushing is of the ego and of the lower self. Rushing is of the material world that feels like it is fleeting and forgets how immortal and infinite the soul is. Your inner wisdom cannot be rushed. You cannot be rushed. No one can be rushed. Not on a soul level. No. Because the soul does not rush. It looks for the present moment. And things happen faster when it is not rushed. For if it is rushed, it will start turning negative. And then you will fall into the patterns that drain you. Because rushing and forcing things and trying to control things comes from the obsessive nature of the ego. So do not rush. And things will happen quickly. But if you rush, things may never happen. Thank you. That was the final message. Talking very quietly. Normally they talk louder. I feel very like I need to go ground here. Very interesting. I think I want to start maybe the practice of having, I can't do it for the animal kingdom, but I can have it for the, I mean I could, maybe? No. I'm thinking of the next animal kingdom channeling, and I'm not gonna go find some bears and sit with them and channel. That's probably not safe. Because respecting the rhyme, rhythm, and reason and the balance of the animal kingdom, they would not hurt me if I did not threaten them, but you know, respecting the balance. Very interesting. The visuals and the pattern of speaking, I noticed, because I can feel it in my, when I come back I can feel it in my mouth. It's almost like very sing-songy. Again, very rhymey. That has been all of May. Very rhymey. It's very much in a rhythm. It's like they're trying to, or the messages, maybe it's just of the orchids specifically. It's definitely a connection to the beings of knowledge, because beings of knowledge are that way. But it's very much like it's like singing a song to remind us of the truth of everything around us and why it's important to slow down, because the pattern of speaking was very slow, very slowing things down, because it's, I saw the visuals of like how humans, we rush and we rush and we rush and we rush, and we don't sit still. And when we sit still, we start to like punish ourselves and feel like we're doing something wrong. But this is a wound on all of humanity, is this go, 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 like not allowing the rest. And we can't hear our inner wisdom or connect to our souls without the rest. Because if the body is aching, then our soul energy is being used to heal the body instead of being used to evolve, is the visual I was shown and what I understand. It's like, and our body can also feel when like our soul has been overworked too, but we're self-healing because we carry, in a way, healing energy within our soul, and our soul can help heal the body. But if we're drained on all levels, then we have to take time to recharge so that we can, in a way, self-heal, bring back energy to our bodies, bring back the energy of our soul, and call our energy back to us, and then go. And when higher beings are saying action every time, it's never about rushing. It's about taking action. Like, okay, now's the time to take action, and now is the time to rest. It's not about forcing action when it's not the right time, or forcing rest when it's time for action. If you're forcing something, then if you're forcing yourself to take action or forcing yourself to take rest when it doesn't feel right and it doesn't resonate, then you're going against the resonation of your soul. The key and the goal of understanding your inner wisdom is to follow what resonates on a soul level. Because technically, nothing resonates from the ego level. It doesn't, the ego doesn't experience resonation in that way. The feeling of something resonating comes from the soul. So when you feel something resonating with you on a deep level, you know it's coming from the soul. The ego doesn't resonate with things, the ego runs with things, and that's a little bit different. And the ego runs with fear while the soul resonates in serenity. So there is a lot of duality and a lot of balance, and finding that balance and that yin and the yang energy coming with understanding your inner wisdom. Because when you're balanced on all levels, you're able to hear, you can hear your inner wisdom at any time, but the visual I was shown is like you're not able to understand or accept the inner wisdom if you're unbalanced. So I'm feeling tired, feeling like, okay, communication time has come to an end. My clairaudient ears are ready for a break, and so is the channeling. So it's very beautiful. And next is we have the bears, the benevolent bears, connection with the eagles, and I don't remember what's after that. We got the summer solstice coming up, and we have July. And then we have July. So stay tuned for lots of exciting things, and stay tuned for a new book about maybe connecting to inner wisdom in a way, awakening something within us, underway for all of you. So stay tuned. This will be a most exciting summer solstice this year, and hoping the orchids survive until then. I think I will keep them in every channeling because they bring a lot of calm. There is calm in trusting your inner wisdom. So sending you love, light, and inspiration, and a little bits of serenity your way, hoping you stay inspired. Goodbye for now.